Whether you love or hate Dragon Ball Super, you cannot deny that it brought us so many memorable and enjoyable fights. In fact, many of them are considered to be some of the franchise's best, so in today's video, I'm going to share a list of my top 10 favorite Dragon Ball Super fights. How's it going, everyone? InnovativeJdawg here, and welcome back to yet another Dragon Ball discussion. In honor of Toei Animation hosting the Battle of the Battles livestream, a countdown of the top 10 best Dragon Ball Super fights as voted by fans, I wanted to go ahead and make my own personal ranking of the best DBS duels. Just so you know, I'm only going to focus on fights that we saw in the first 131 episodes of the DBS anime, and I'll also include fights from Dragon Ball Super Broly, so no manga fights are going to be included on this list. That could be its own separate video. But before we dive deep into my top 10, make sure you smash that thumbs up button so that other Dragon Ball fans can see this video as well, and also, please subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on all of my Dragon Ball content since I make a ton of videos. With all that being said, let's get right into my countdown of the best Dragon Ball Super fights, and don't forget to leave your own top 10 down in the comments. Number 10, Goku vs. Gohan. No doubt one of my favorite fights in all of Dragon Ball Super has to be that little scuffle between Goku and Gohan after their 2v2 matchup alongside Tien and Piccolo. For all of you out there who still think Gohan is weak because he slacked off on his training, that just proves to the rest of us that you did not watch the recruitment portion of the Tournament of Power arc, because Gohan actually managed to hold his own against Goku in his Super Saiyan Blue form. That is incredible, and I know a lot of you Gohan fans absolutely loved this fight, because it proved that with a little training and proper motivation, Gohan can keep bouncing back into glory. But not only that, I just love the character interactions between Goku and Gohan during this entire fight. This fight shows off that proper bond between a father and a son, and how these two characters respect each other no matter what. While it's always nice seeing those big climactic final battles in a story arc, I like taking the time to appreciate those smaller scale fights that result in more effective storytelling. It's these kind of small scale fights that build up characters and develops not just themselves, but their relationships with others, and this fight was the definition of short but sweet to me. Number 9, Android 17 vs. Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Speaking of short and sweet, Android 17 vs. Goku in his Super Saiyan Blue form was definitely a fight that surpassed a lot of my expectations. The idea of these two fighting has been in the back of my mind for the longest time, because one of my favorite what-if scenarios from back in the day actually revolved around Goku being awake to confront the androids in the Android Saga. What if he went up against 17 or 18, and how would those fights have turned out? Unfortunately, we never got to see either of those fights, and for the longest time, Goku and number 17 hadn't even met each other. But now, we finally got to see what an all-out fight between these two would look like. To me, this felt like one of those what-if scenarios brought to official material, and it was just awesome to see. But not only that, this fight was really cool. It proved to everyone just how much more powerful 17 had gotten over the years, and it actually kicked off an unlikely friendship between the two characters that I really enjoy, and I want to see more of it in the future. Plus, that sunset backdrop during this fight just gives it so much character. I wish we saw more fights take place with different environmental aspects as opposed to just bright daylight. And plus, I think that sunset backdrop lends itself nicely to Naoki Tate's animation style. That loose yet fluid movement style that is really easy to identify really shines through in this fight. Number 8, Goku vs. Hit. This was the fight that pulled me back into Dragon Ball Super and made me watch the show week after week. As much as I love Dragon Ball, I'm not afraid to admit that when the show was first remaking the Battle of Gods and Fukatsu no F storylines, I kinda lost interest for a while and I wasn't really excited to sit down and watch each new episode. I may be a diehard fan of the series, but I just didn't have the motivation to watch those first few episodes week after week. But that all changed when I saw this fight. The animation, the style, the cool techniques behind both Goku and Hit, the overall vibe of this fight, it just felt like that Dragon Ball that I held very close to my heart. It has the same charisma and freshness about it that made me remember why I cherished this series so much. Not to mention the introduction of Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. Are you kidding me? That moment was awesome because the Super Kaioken is one of my absolute favorite things in all of Dragon Ball, even if it may be filler. I loved when Goku pushed Blue Kaioken to the 10 times multiplier, and then that show's first opening theme kicked in. That gave me goosebumps when I first saw it, and to be honest, it made me feel like a kid again. Number 7. Goku vs. Kefla. Man, that final Kamehameha against Kefla is no doubt one of the best Kamehameha blasts in the entire franchise. Nobody can deny that. But not only is this fight fantastic just because of that finishing move, the fight itself is so fun to watch. I enjoyed seeing Goku's fight against Caulifla and Kale because the two of them actually gave him some trouble as he progressed through his Saiyan transformations, and in my eyes, it was a nice little teaching moment to the two Universe 6 Saiyans. But when the two fused into Kefla, all bets were off. Even in his Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue forms, Goku was no match for this fused warrior, and I'll be honest, it was fun seeing Goku on the other end of a fusion where he's the one getting beat down. It made you wonder what was gonna happen. But then, in the nick of time, he finally tapped back into Ultra Instinct Domain, and the fight immediately flipped back around in his favor. I loved that this fight was a constant back and forth between these two warriors, almost as if it were a game of leapfrog. Plus, like with a lot of the other fights on this list, animation and choreography was just top notch in this fight. I loved when the two of them were falling down the side of that cliff in slow motion, and Goku stuck his feet into the side of the cliff so that he could lean back and dodge all of Kefla's ki blasts. That was really cool. Not to mention, when the two were falling side by side and were just staring at each other, that was a really cool moment too. But of course, that final Kamehameha made this fight so spectacular. The way that Goku was just charging up his Kamehameha as he rushed towards her, all while dodging all of Kefla's incoming attacks, it was no doubt one of the best moments in DBS. Number 6. Goku and Trunks vs. Goku Black and Zamasu. This is no doubt one of the most underrated and overlooked fights in all of Dragon Ball Super. I wholeheartedly believe that we need to see more 2v2 matchups in the series because man, this fight was phenomenal. The chemistry between Goku Black and Zamasu was shown off in its full glory in this fight, and I absolutely loved seeing Goku and Trunks team up with their backs against the wall to combat these two enemies. The teamwork between Black and Zamasu was just so perfectly coordinated that all Goku and Trunks could literally do was try and defend themselves. They stood absolutely no chance. Even if they were a perfect team, there was no way they could match Black and Zamasu's chemistry. Plus, the animation in this fight was just so spectacular to watch, and I was able to keep up with all of that fast-paced action. That flip sequence in the air left me speechless, and watching the characters bounce all around and fly up the sides of skyscrapers as they dodged energy beams was just so satisfying to watch. There's no way that I can truly define what's so perfect about this fight and give it the justice that it deserves, so please, if you want to see this fight in all of its animated glory, go check out Dragon Ball Super Episode 57. You will not be disappointed. Number 5. Ultra Instinct Goku vs. Jiren. While it technically is not the final battle of the Tournament of Power, Goku and Jiren's final one-on-one matchup definitely felt like that final confrontation that we usually see associated with newly achieved forms or power-ups. You know, Super Saiyan Goku vs. Frieza, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan vs. Perfect Cell, or even Super Saiyan God Goku vs. Beerus. Everybody was expecting Goku's sudden quote-unquote mastery of Ultra Instinct to be that deciding factor in their matchup, and they wanted to see this new silver-haired form take Jiren out of the ring once and for all. But that actually didn't happen. The ending of this fight actually subverted a lot of our expectations and made fans question how this arc was going to end. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Regardless of how this fight ended, or what it led into, the final matchup between Goku and Jiren will no doubt go down as one of Dragon Ball's most iconic fights. This duel was just, to say it bluntly, historic, and to many fans out there, this felt like a classic battle pulled straight out of Dragon Ball Z. It was a savage fight, it was raw, it was incredible because Jiren wasn't getting curb stomped by Goku, and the two were actually having a really good back and forth, and if you were to analyze this fight a bit further, it goes much deeper than the two simply punching each other. It actually ties into their morals as characters. Plus, the animation in this fight was insanely well done. You could feel the speed and power behind every punch. You could see exactly how the two participants were feeling because of how well their facial expressions were animated. I just have to say it, Naotoshi Shida is no doubt one of my favorite Dragon Ball animators. Every time he lends his skills to a battle in the series, it ends up being a favorite of mine. Number 4. Vegito Blue vs. Merged Zamasu. Man, do I even really need to say anything about this fight? It's Vegito. You already know that whenever he pops up, the fight is gonna be awesome. Not only did this fight mark Vegito's return in Dragon Ball ever since his first and only appearance way back in the Buu saga, but we saw him transform into his Super Saiyan Blue form for the very first time, and he pulls off this form really well. But then on the opposing side of the fight, you had Merged Zamasu, another fused fighter. This battle was essentially fusion versus fusion, a battle of the Potara earrings. Who would come out on top? Was it gonna be Vegito Blue? Could he defeat Zamasu in time before he was forced to defuse? I remember this battle keeping me on the edge of my seat when episode 66 first aired. Not to mention, the animation in this fight is just spectacular, but of course that's no surprise since it came from Naotoshi Shida, one of Dragon Ball's best when it comes to action animation. The guy just knows how to animate a super fast and fluid fight, all while making it look good in the process. His choreography is always astounding to watch, and it's no different here. Throwing Shida's animation on top of the fact that Vegito Blue was back yet again, ready to put Zamasu in his place, it's not shocking that this fight was one of Dragon Ball Super's best. Number 3. Goku vs. Jiren Round 1. This fight was no doubt one of the most hyped up matches in all of Dragon Ball Super. I dare to say that it's even more recognizable and iconic than Goku's final matchup against Jiren in his silver-haired Ultra Instinct state. If you were around when Dragon Ball Super was airing, then you no doubt remember that hour-long special where episodes 109 and 110 were aired back-to-back. Hundreds upon thousands of fans tuned into this hour-long special to see the titanic matchup against Goku and Jiren. They watched as defeat seemed imminent for Goku as he attempted the Spirit Bomb and failed, but then we saw it for the first time. Goku's Ultra Instinct Omen state, his new iconic power-up that has no doubt become a staple in the franchise. Easily one of the most recognizable things about modern Dragon Ball. Ultra Instinct's first appearance was met with a lot of high expectations, and it certainly delivered with its fascinating concept, its insanely cool visuals, the introduction of that Ultimate Battle song, and the fight that followed against Jiren was nothing short of amazing and historic. This entire fight was just so awesome with all of those perfect sounds, the song, the visuals, the choreography, the animation, and to see it back when it first aired, that was a truly momentous occasion for Dragon Ball fans all around the world. Number 2. Goku, Frieza, and Android 17 vs. Jiren. Being that penultimate final battle of the main Dragon Ball Super anime, Goku, Frieza, and Android 17's final attempt to take out Jiren in the Tournament of Power certainly did not disappoint. This fight, in my opinion, was just brilliant, and it was masterfully done in a multitude of ways. First off, just like a lot of the other fights on this list, the animation is top-notch, and it sorta needed to be. This was the final episode of Dragon Ball Super. It had to end on a high note, and thanks to the animation style of Yuya Takahashi, this whole entire sequence was such a cool spectacle to watch. I loved watching all the flips, all the hard hits, and seeing Goku slide down the side of that gigantic pillar so he could launch Frieza towards Jiren. Man, it was so awesome. Not to mention, Ultimate Battle playing in the background pumped everybody up as Goku and Frieza, these two immortal enemies now working side by side to take down a common foe, working together as allies who trusted each other. This whole scene was just so powerful and historic, and displayed how far both of these characters have come since their initial meeting. It was great. But no doubt, my absolute favorite moment in this entire fight has to be those last few moments where Frieza is pushing Jiren back and Goku is launching towards the two of them, flickering in and out of Super Saiyan. He's showing the audience that even in his exhausted state, he was putting his all into this fight, and he showed that he didn't need a new form to defeat Jiren. Because both Goku and Frieza were full of determination, and after seeing the rest of Universe 7 cheer them on to finish the fight, it gave off a feeling of anxiety and pressure. We were all on the edge of our seats as they pushed Jiren out of the ring, but most importantly, it felt like we were all there as well, cheering Goku and Frieza on. This definitely lived up to its hype as the final battle of Dragon Ball Super, because no doubt it's going to be recognized as one of the best endings to a story arc for years to come. Number 1. Gogeta vs. Broly. Including Dragon Ball Super Broly on this list really wasn't fair because every single fight in this movie was nothing short of perfection. But hey, I said I'd include everything from the Dragon Ball Super anime, and a movie is considered part of the anime, right? Regardless, every single fight in DBS Broly has something special and unique about it, mostly because a lot more time, effort, and love had been put into them to make them fit the quality of a big blockbuster film. But besides that, the fights Broly has against Vegeta, Goku, and even Frieza are all special and unique in their own way, but nothing could have prepared us for that final matchup between Gogeta and Broly. Not only were we seeing a canonical matchup between these two originally non-canon characters, but the fight broke every limitation it could possibly break. The two ascended to new levels of power, all in the matter of just a few minutes. They displayed incredible techniques never seen before. They broke through the fabric of reality and fought in between dimensions, for crying out loud. That stuff was just incredible, but of course, I have to say it, the animation was on point for this entire fight, thanks to the long list of amazing and talented key animators that worked on this movie, with all of their individual styles lending themselves nicely to Naohiro Shintani's character designs. The fast-paced movement, the choreography, the intense soundtrack blaring in the background. This fight was visually stunning and was so visceral that it made the audience feel like they were part of the action. Not to mention, the intense emotional connection that the audience had built up with both of these characters created that additional layer to the fight, because everybody wanted to see Gogeta win, but nobody wanted to see Broly lose. It played with our heads and made us think. We were left on the edge of our seats, and this fight just left me speechless from beginning to end. In my eyes, even if it showed up in a movie and not the regular anime, Gogeta vs. Broly is no doubt the best fight from the Dragon Ball Super anime. And there we have it, everyone. Those were my top 10 favorite fights from the Dragon Ball Super anime. Do you agree with some of my picks? Leave your comments down below and let's have a discussion. I'd love to hear all your thoughts, and I'm also very curious to know what your personal favorite fights are, so please comment what they are, and while you're at it, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button to help push this video into YouTube's algorithm. The more likes this video has, the more likely it is that other Dragon Ball fans will also see this video. Plus, it gives me an idea of how much you enjoyed this video. While you're at it, click that subscribe button and turn on post notifications by clicking that bell icon. That way, you'll be able to see whenever I upload a new video. If you're a fan of all things Dragon Ball, you'll definitely want to stick around because I make a ton of content ranging from reviews, discussions, speculation videos, and I even do what if videos from time to time. Plus, I do more top 10 videos like this. If all of that interests you, you'll definitely want to stay around and subscribe. As always though, thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Until my next video though, I will be seeing all of you Dragon Ball fans later. See ya!